everyone, welcome to today's video. I thought I would add to my how to make series on my YouTube channel. Today what we're going to make is these scrap strips. So these little strips I have made all out of scraps that were in my scrap pile. So I have added lots of little strips together, and then eventually we tear it in half and we do some sewing on it just to add a little bit of detail, something a little bit exciting, some marks, all sorts of things. So we're going to make one of these today. I want to make one that goes with this particular page. So this is my next video that I'm going to be working on. But what I thought in this video, I'll do a how to make a little section. So what I'm going to make is, I think that goes on this side. So it's sort of like a little bit of slide in, like a, you know, like a pocket, I suppose. It will be a pocket in the end. So I can slide some photos in underneath here. So I thought, I'm not going to do it on this side because this side's got beautiful colours and things. But what I have done is picked a bunch of scrap papers that actually match this side. So this will all match. That's my theme. So that's what I'm running with today. I hope you'll stick around and see how we make one of these. It's not too difficult. Lots of things are stuck on. Yeah, so let's get started. All right, I'll move all these out of the way. Oops. That's for my next project. Rightio. So I've just made lots of different ones. This is I made a very neutrally looking one. It's in two halves, so to speak. These particular ones, I'll show you how to do that. There's some pinky, orangey, yellow ones, which are quite cool. Some pinks and greens, which is a bit cute too, which is nice. Some blues, pinky blues, lots of different blues, and some greens. So make them out really cool. So I plan to use these in my journals. So what I thought I would do today is show you exactly how to make this. So we are going to start with a strip. This is just a strip of scrap paper that I had. And all we are going to do, sorry about the glare there, guys. All we are going to do is use a glue stick. I've just got a plain old glue stick. And we're just going to start sticking onto this. So I'm aiming to make it, you know, probably this wide. Use up some of these strips. I think I'm just going to run a bit in the middle to begin with. Let's start with some blue. Let's start with some blue. That looks good. Stick it down. Now there is no rhyme or reason for any of this. Just grab some scissors. I just want to cut off that strip. You probably don't want the strip. And yes, all we are going to do is add lots of bits. We're going to overlap them, do all sorts of things. So that is the name of the game today. You can tear them, you can do whatever you absolutely like to these, and you just keep adding to them. This was very cool. This had lots of these colours in it, so I thought, oh, this is actually perfect. We might make this a bit wider, this piece. Actually, let's put that down here. And let's overlap that a bit. That looks pretty cool. What else can we use? Let's use some pink. I'm just going to tear that off there. Let's put the pink at the top. So there's no real reason for, you know, how you set all this up, or how you stick it on. It doesn't really matter. There's a bit of white as well. You can add however you like to this. There's no rules, so to speak. I might add a bit more of this green down the bottom. Actually, let's use this green instead. I quite like that green. It's quite nice. And then let's add a bit of this across the middle there. You see, just keep adding lots of different papers, however you like, and you can make this as wide as you absolutely like. Off-center some, however you like to do it. Oh, this is a nice piece. I really like this paper. I've had this paper forever. And this is the absolute last of it. So, actually, you know what we might do? We might put that behind. Let's just pop that on the back side of here. So you can add to your width by just keeping on sticking. Actually, maybe we put it up a bit higher. There's probably better. You can just keep adding to your width by sticking it to the back if you want to. You can do it whichever way you like. On the top, on the back, whatever floats your boat, really. I'm going to put this piece on here. That looks pretty cool. You will end up with a very gluey desk, as I have found out. The first ones that I made, I had glue everywhere. But that's what you're looking for, right? You're looking for something to add some colour. Now let's put that piece there. Actually, let's put that on that side. Now this is not my idea. I found a really cool girl that makes these kinds of things for her journals. So she's a junk journaler, and I really liked the concept. So shout out to Jenny Belly. I will pop a link down below so you can check out what she does. She does a few things a little bit different to me. She stamped hers as well. I probably wouldn't stamp mine as much, but that's personal preference. If you want to stamp on them, by all means, knock yourself out. Go for it. There's no rules, right? So, yeah, there's some cool stuff that you can do. Let's put this one at the top. Oh, that one's not terribly straight, is it? Not that it matters, but I think I might put a little bit more of this at the top. Just to widen us out a little bit. That'll be cool. So yeah, it's a good way of using up tons of scraps, just to create something a little bit different. Let's go a bit higher actually there. Oh, that's good. Ooh, fingers stuck to it, look out. Yeah, maybe I'll put a little piece up there. Actually, we're going to pop that behind, aren't we? Let's glue that. Oh. Perfect. No, I've even got a, look at that, I've even got a strip of it that was used on the other, which is a bit cool. That's just a strip from the, my page was too big, so my strip is actually off the pattern paper, this particular strip, so it works pretty well. Yeah, let's pop that across there. So that's just a branding strip, all I've used there. Except, you know how I hate seeing that paper on the end there. We don't need that. Let's get rid of that. It's working pretty well. And we're going to pop it across there. That looks good. What else can we do? Let's do a bit more blue at the top here. Yeah, I quite like that. It's looking good. So you just make it as big and as wide as you want it to be. Because I'm doing it on a page, oops, I want to make it that way, don't I? Yeah, that's good. Adding it to that page. It's looking good so far. Yes, you can make it as wide as you need. What we are going to do is tear this in half down the track. So, maybe I need to put that down here somewhere. Well, that's upside down. Just realised that. Maybe I'll just pop it on top. Let's stick it on top. Oh, sorry, if you can't see that. Let's pop it on there. So you can put these absolutely wherever you like. You can overlap them or do whatever you think it needs. Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that. Let's put it on the back of that. I just need it to glue in, which is a bit cool. That's groovy. Although, if I put it, yeah, let's put another piece of something down there. Yeah, let's do that. I'll probably tear that part off, which is always good. Okay. So it's all about just adding until you're happy with how it looks. I could probably fill a bit here and maybe a bit here is probably where else I need it. Let's just put this piece back here. That looks quite good there. Where do I put it? Oh, that'll get rid of the little notch on it. Well, I think we're going to get rid of the notch on it anyway, which is okay. Again, we're going to stick it about here somewhere. Yeah, that looks good. So you're just sort of widening it to whatever you need it to be. It can be any width you like. Not too... No rules in this kind of stuff. Oh. Yeah, let's make that go down there. Fills a void again. Perfect. It's looking pretty good. All right, so all I'm going to do is just widen it slightly on this side again. We need a couple of bigger pieces for that, I think. This can be, yep, let's put that there. Some more widening. Yep, that's looking good. Looking good so far. You don't actually have to do that much to this. It's all about just sort of stacking out your layers and hoping for the best, really. Let's put that in there. Again, that's got a little bit of white on it that we probably don't want on there. Beautiful. Yeah, that's a bit cool. Looking good. A big dollop of glue there, though. Yuck. That's not looking too bad. I think we might just dot out this corner a little bit. Let's put a bit of that down there. Or that. Yeah, let's do that. On that corner. And it's sideways. I realise it's sideways, but that is okay, I think. All right, so I've got a bit of a, you know, roughly a good width on all of that. And that is just sticking scraps onto a piece of paper. There is no rhyme or reason. It's just, it is what it is. Let's use this little tiny yellow piece here too. That's cool. I just want to cover up that little, can you see that? Little tiniest little bit of white there. We could cover that with some washi tape. Oh, let's go there. That's cool. I like that. I'm pretty happy with that. I think I'm going to leave it at that, as wide as I've got it. We did pretty well. That's all we have left, which is great out of all that big giant pile. So we did pretty well, I think, with all of that. That's looking pretty good. So there we go. That's what we've got at the moment. I'm just going to check that the colours are all nice and it's actually perfect for this. Perfect. Great colours. It's going to match really well. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some washi tapes. What have I got in here that will go? That blue will probably go. Let's take that on upside down. Well, in saying that, we can put it that way. That will work too. It won't matter. Yeah, maybe it is that way because I'll put all these with the writing. It's a bit of a tip. What else do we have in here? We've got some greens that will probably match. Some light pinks, probably too much. We've got a few different pinks there. What else? We need a nice bright yellow. Yeah, that will work. That's probably enough. Maybe a bit of grid. Let's do that. Let's use those few. So I think I want to use a bit of this pink. And all I'm going to do is add it to a few different places. Like, let's put it over here. There's one piece. Maybe a bit of pink here. And all it is doing is pretty much adding some, see how these are a bit lifty? That can work to hold it down a little bit. Also works pretty well. Not that you have to, but it's just a way of adding a bit of extra colour to your page. Let's go this blue. I don't have much of this blue left. I have even less of that yellow. Trying very hard to use these little guys up. Oh, didn't do a very good job there, did I? Where will we put this piece? It's lifting a little bit. Let's put this here. And another piece. Let's put that down here. Looking good so far. Let's try a bit of yellow. If I can find the end. There's the end. Oh, we're very close. How often do you actually use a piece of washi? Not that often. We're on the last legs of that one. Definitely getting there. Let's put some yellow in here. And maybe a bit up the top. Let's put some more yellow here. That's looking good so far. Now green. Do we use that green? Or a little bit of grid maybe. I don't have much of the grid left. If I can find the end. There's the end. Gosh, can we get it off? Yes, there we go. Oh, let's just use the whole, look at that. I finally used a piece. This is just a straw. I bought this from an online seller a few years ago now, and he just had big straws that he had wrapped it onto. I went, it's genius actually. Quite like that idea. All right, let's use up the last of our green grid. Where else do we need it? We don't actually really need it anywhere. I'm just going to add it for a bit of difference, which is pretty cool. Let's put a bit more on this side. It's groovy. Let's split this one in half. Let's put some green. Just want to be able to see a little bit of the green. That works. And one more piece. Let's put that tiny bit of green on there. That looks good. Looking good. It's pretty much holding everything down. Do you think we need... Let's put a little tiny piece of this. I love this stuff. It goes with absolutely any page. This particular gritty one. Which is good. Let's pop that there. And let's put a piece here. Done. I'm pretty happy. That is looking pretty good. Okay, now that I've got this far, what I'm going to do next is tear it in half. So where our middle piece is probably about here. I can probably start tearing from here, just to make them a bit smaller. You don't have to, but I find it a bit easier if they're not quite as big. So all I am doing is pretty much, see our orange piece that we had to begin with? That's this piece through the middle. I'm pretty much just tearing down the middle of there. And it's going to leave two pieces that are very different. Oh, we could probably do with a bit of tape on there. Let's pop a bit of tape on there in a minute. And show you how cool it comes up. Yes, that one definitely needs some tape. And that one could probably use a little bit of tape there as well. I probably could have overlapped those a little bit better. Let's use a bit more. Oops. Let's use a bit more of this stuff. just to hold it all together. Where are we dyeing here? This is where it is. Right there. So that just makes it a bit more secure. And this will be the same. So it goes to show you could overlap these a bit more. So there you go. We've got two pieces. Okay, like this. So next what we're going to do is do a little bit of mark making. So I'm just using my chalky Posca, well they're actually not chalky Posca, they're just Posca Pens. And I'm just going to put some dots on them, some lines, that kind of stuff. So we might use that blue because that blue is a pretty good match. What else can we use? Where's that purpley colour? But I think that's too purpley. It's not quite the right purple. No, let's not use that one. Some pink maybe? Maybe some yellow might be the other. I'm just going to grab some scrap paper. Bit of scrap to start them and see how they go. Make sure that we're... Oh, yep, that one's good. I haven't used these for a while, and yeah, that one's good. And this one. Yep, they're good too. Beautiful. I found out that I had two that weren't very juicy anymore and were not working very well, so it pays to check every now and again. All right, I'm going to start with this one to begin with. I'm just going to move my scrap piece out of the way. And I'm just going to do some dots. Dots all over the place. That's all I'm going to do on that one. And I might put them down a little bit further somewhere. Let's pop some on here too. And you can put it on your washi. I found that it does work okay, which is always good. Looks pretty good, happy with that. So I'm going to set that one to the side just for a sec, and I'm going to do some dots on this side as well. Let's do some dots up here. There we go, some dots. And let's go a few more dots just here somewhere. There's not a whole lot of blue down this end. There we go. Okay, so that's my blue. Some yellow. Yellow next. We might do a few lines with the yellow. Let's do some yellow lines in here. Nothing fancy. Just doing some yellow, just so that it all ties together. Let's do some yellow down here. That looks pretty cool. Where else? We might do some yellow here too. Beautiful. There we go. Happy with that. And let's pop this one here. Let's do the same on this one. Let's do some yellow lines. There. Now let's do some yellow lines here. Oh. Sometimes you've got to juice up your Poscas a little bit. That one's not very happy. Oh, there we go, that's better. Might go over that once it dries a little bit. And lastly, some pink. Just make sure our pink, yeah, our pink's nice and juicy. It's lovely. Let's do a few dots down in here. Some pink dots. Let's do a few up here too. Oh, that's better. Some pink dots. Swap it over to this one. Becoming a good shake, I think. It's not too bad. Juice them up a little bit. And we might do a few pink dots on this one. Oh, see that? Yep. It's all about just making some marks, putting some extra colour on something. It sometimes, oh, now it's coming out. Took a bit of time to juice up that one. There we go. It could take a little while to dry, that one. That's all right. Okay, looking good. So far, so good. All right, I'm going to let those dry for a couple of minutes, or just until the Posca Pens dry. They're quite liquidy. And then what I'm going to do is just do some sewing up the middle and back. That's all I'm going to do. Yeah, anyway, I'll pop you on the other side and I'll be right back. Okay, there's the final result. All I have done is sewed over the top with my sewing machine. I just picked a colour. I ended up choosing pink to go in this. There you go. It's all very easy peasy. Oops, there we go. That's better. So that's all I have done is gone over. So now I have two strips, two fabulous looking strips that I'm going to use in my next page. So this will be my next journal page. Not sure which one I'm going to use yet, whether it's that one. Well, that one's a bit straighter. Maybe I do use that one. We'll see how we go anyway. So that's what I'm going to use. And that's on my next page. So I hope you can tune in for the next one when I show you how I use them in my journal. Yeah, should be lots of fun. Anyway, thanks for popping by today on this How to Make series. Yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.